Hi everybody, I'm James Campbell. Welcome to my 12 Rules for Sales Life. Really talking to estate planning attorneys, helping them understand web leads and how to close them. And today we're going to get into rule number 4, which is the dummy curve theory. And all this is coming up through Revenue on Command. All right. So, guys, today we're going to talk about the dummy curve theory. And it's one of my favorite strategies, ways to think about going into a sales conversation to really help me dummy up is a great term. This is taught by one of my favorite coaches back in Kansas City, and it really stuck with me. And it really helps me, it helps other attorneys as well, really connect with their clients. We're going to talk a little bit about dummying up and the dummy curve theory, okay? I guess this is rule number 4 of my 12 rules for sales life. Okay, so what is the dummy curve theory? Well, I'll have a graphic and I'll bring it up here in just a second, but think back when you first started your career, whether it be in estate planning, elder laws, in the legal field, obviously. When you first started meeting with clients and you were kind of still green behind the ears, right? How many of us, raise your hand, the proverbial hand, right, were really successful when we first started off? We kind of saw some great success when we first started our practice, when we first were kind of unleashed into our careers. We saw a lot of great success right in the very beginning. Why is that? Well, one of the things that we've seen is that when you're first starting off, you don't have a lot of experience, right? And so naturally, you turn to questions, right? You spend a lot of your time asking questions, both to your employer, your clients, and gaining information, right? And through that process of asking questions, you end up connecting with people and seeing success. But as the years went on, as we gain more experience, as we get 4, 5, 6 years into our career and further, the more experience we have, the more knowledge we have. When we hear a problem from a potential client, we connect the dots really quickly. Oh, I have an answer for that. I've got a solution. And our conversations turn from us asking questions to us more pontificating, educating, basically grabbing one little thing from our prospective client and then running with that, jumping in with a solution to that and a full explanation of how that operates. I'll bring up this graphic real quick. We'll kind of take a look at this, okay? So if we look on the left-hand side here, we have sales, right? Our sales are high. On the bottom part here, the lower axis, that's our time, okay? That's our amount of duration. And we can see that in the beginning of time, our sales were high, right? We did really well initially. But then as we gain more experience, we move further down through time, further along the process, we gain a lot more education, and we start sharing that education with our prospective clients, right? The person sitting across from us. And the person sitting across from us is now doing around 30% of the talking, and the attorney is doing 70% of the talking. And this leads to lower sales. You're not connecting with people. We're not helping people make a decision about what is important to them. Now, the professional phase, again, when we're in this is all the sales phase, right? We're talking about the dummy phase as your life as a salesman, your amateur phase, not as an attorney, but as your life as a salesman. And we want to move to is that professional phase where we're asking questions and kind of dummying up on purpose, okay? We're doing that on purpose where we're now with the right mindset. We're going into the conversations thinking, I'm going to ask mostly questions. I'm going to resist the temptation to educate. And so it's very important that we follow that dummy curve. We like to call it dummying up. And so what's that look like in practice? All right? It means things like just not being sure, asking for more detail, getting clarity, repeating back, and then being a little bit hard on yourself, right? Not taking this ivory tower approach to our meetings, where we're this high attorney. We want to kind of come down a level and maybe seem a little bit uncomfortable. Now, we don't want to be deceiving about it, obviously, right? We want to intentionally probe for more information, have the prospect tell us things, get them to talk about the emotional side of things, and not just the facts, okay? We want to know the whole story. We want them to internalize what that story actually means. So, one of the things we can do is when a prospect tells you one of their biggest fears. I'm really worried about the house, and if the kids are going to get an inheritance, or if it's going to be lost to the nursing home, or how do I take care of it? Are the kids going to fight? I'm really kind of worried about that. Instead of just taking that information and moving on, it would be, I'm a little bit confused because earlier in the conversation, you were talking about your son taking the house. So I'm a little bit confused about that. Can you help me get clarity on that? I'm confused. It's a great one, okay? I'm not sure I understand. Could you repeat that for me? I'm not really sure I was clear on that. Okay, that's all it is. It's dummying up. I don't have all the answers yet, right? I still have to gather more information before I can really give you any clear advice. So before we move on to the next topic, maybe if you have a sales process that's further down, you're trying to get from one point to the next, right? Trying to get to where you present the solution and go for the sale. You got to be patient a little bit, okay? The dummy curve theory will help you slow down and ask questions. Get deeper into it. Don't have the ivory tower syndrome. Don't feel like you have to answer every question that they ask. Turn that around. Why would you ask that question? That's a little bit, I'm kind of thrown off by that. Can you help me out with that a little bit? Can you help me? Those are great ways to kind of keep that conversation in the prospect's hands, where they're doing most of the talking. The end result will be a person that really connects with you, that tells you the truth, and then when you present your solution, that solution will be true for them. It'll actually accomplish the things that they know are real because they were able to voice those to you. So, hope you enjoyed this message about the dummy curve theory, and look for Rule 5 coming up next week. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you soon.